So a while back I picked up some rain gutters at Lowe's, thinking I might use that for something someday. Then I started thinking, hey, maybe I could use that as a planter. So I got the rain gutter, and I got these plastic end cap pieces that fit on there very tightly and have a rubber seal inside them. So that's watertight once you get two of those put on a tray there. And then after that I got some net pots, filled them with dirt, and put some seeds in. There you go, a planter. Now that worked real well last summer up in Oregon, where they have not too many insect problems. But down here in Arizona I've got troubles with fungus gnats getting inside, and they really like this moist soil. So they get in there, they lay their larvae in there, and then they hatch out of there, and then you just got multiples of them just multiply and just fungus gnats all over the place. Very annoying. When you got the loose net pots like this, it's really hard to get in there and squish them because the fungus gnats will fly down inside, and then you can't really reach them very easily. So that didn't work too well down here in Arizona. I had a bunch of wood scraps, and I was thinking, maybe I can make something out of those. So let's take a look at that one. So I took all these wood scraps that I had laying around. They're just like odds and ends of various projects left over. And I thought, well, what if I just cut a groove down the sides of them, two grooves there at the right distance apart, and then punch a couple of holes in the top. Then I can just fit that over top of the rain gutter, and just kind of snap in like that, and then I can put in my net pots, and there you go. Nice cover for them. I can just hang there nice and flat, and seal this up so that the fungus gnats can't go down underneath very easily. They have to go from the top only, and if they're flying around and they're on top, I can just squish them if I see them. They can't get away and they can go underneath because it's all sealed up now. That's pretty nice. In fact, I like that so much that I ended up going and just buying a piece of wood. And they sell this in the right width down there at the store. And I just cut a bunch of slots in it, which wasn't as easy as it was with the individual pieces. But eventually I got all the slots and grooves and stuff made. And then I drilled out all the holes, and now I've got another planter here that's completely sealed up and doesn't flop around or anything. It's really quite nice. One thing I really like about these is you can put a whole bunch of plants in a very small space here, which is great when you're starting off seedlings. Seedlings don't need much space, and if you have a lot of them, then you gotta go running around watering them all over your yard if you were planting them spaced out according to the directions on the package. This way I can just sit in one spot and water them all at once, and it takes no time at all to speak of. Once your plant gets big enough that you want to actually plant it somewhere, you just pull it out, and if you got some roots on it, just stick it in the ground, make a little hole, and you can plant the net pot and all. Makes it very easy, convenient. Another cool thing is if you're not ready to plant right away, you want to keep your plants small. And the net pot lets you do air pruning of your roots. So since this isn't sealed up in there, any roots that come out the sides will just dry out and prune themselves off. Dry out, fall off, stop growing from there, and then you'll end up with a better root pattern eventually, where you've got a whole bunch of little roots coming out from the center, all trying to get to the outside and then stopping, and then starting over again from the beginning and making up just a huge number of root hairs all throughout the soil, so that when you finally do plant it out, all those root hairs can finally now start growing out, and there's so many starts already ready to go, your plant will just take off. While it's in the net pot and air pruning, though, all those roots that get pruned off causes the top part to stop growing so massively, because it has to spend more time growing more root hairs underneath. So that helps you save space in your planters and for your travels. If you're trying to move these plants around, maybe you're trying to grow them out for your friends and ship them over to their house later on, things like that. It's nice to have a really dwarfed plant, and then later on it's just ready to rock and roll and takes off when you plant it. Pretty cool. Certain plants are really hard to get them to germinate from seed. They'll take a long time before they do anything. And for me, it's really hard to keep spending my time watering an empty pot that doesn't seem to have anything growing in it yet. So here's something I've been doing for that problem. I'll take a plant that it's really easy to germinate, and I know it's going to be growing. I'll make that my central plant, and then around it I'll plant a bunch of seeds of the plants that are really hard to germinate, that take a long time. So here I've got red leaf lettuce that was easy to germinate, and then I've got these red globe grape seeds that took forever to germinate. I just planted those around, and then eventually, a long time later, after I've been watering the lettuce for a long time, those finally came up, and then now they're there. Since they're in a net pot with not very much soil around them, when you've got too many plants all in one spot, it's not too hard to just pop out the plants from the net pot, wash away all the dirt, and then now you can split the plants up without doing too much damage to the roots, and then you can have your own little separate pots for each plant, which is pretty good. A lot better than planting it in the soil and then trying to do all that work there, because once they take off and don't get air pruned, then their roots can go way down deep and all over the place, and you don't know where, and you just end up making a big mess when you try to dig them up and separate them out.